Florian Wirtz has joined Liverpool Football Club officially for £100 million with add-ons, which could take it to the record for the Premier League, the biggest transfer we've ever seen, ahead of Chelsea's Enzo Caicedo, £100 million for Declan Rice, £100 million, of course, for Jack Grealish, 97 for Paul Pogba. It will take it above all of them if Florian Wirtz hits his goals, his aims at the club. And if he doesn't, it will still keep it at one of the most expensive transfers in Europe this season. We're going to break down if it's a good transfer for Liverpool, if it makes smart money, if it's a smart investment, and of course, how the player will fit into the side as well. I have to say off the bat, seeing him sign for the club, some of his opening statements, just the swagger that this guy's walking into the football club with, the swagger that Liverpool can provide him, because they've said that we want to sign you ahead of Man City, ahead of Bayern Munich, ahead of Real Madrid, and potentially other clubs as well. And Liverpool don't really usually compete with Man City and Real Madrid for these kind of transfers. They go a little bit lower, a little bit cheaper. That's why the net spend has been less than even the likes of Chelsea and Man United in recent years as well. And the fact that Liverpool, when they actually go into a big transfer, they've won out against these massive clubs is a huge ringing endorsement for the project of Arne Slot, the project of FSG, and even the transfer strategy, or the lack thereof, last season, which gives Liverpool a little bit more ammunition, a little bit more firepower to go out and get the kind of guys that Arne Slot wants. They don't need value necessarily. They can just go straight to the best in class of what Liverpool need for the future. It's very, very ominous and a very worrying time if you're a rival Premier League fan for Liverpool, even in Europe. If you're a Real Madrid fan, if you're a Bayern Munich fan, looking at the European Cup next season as well, because this is absolutely outrageous business. And the first thing you have to say is it stops the likes of Man City improving, Real Madrid improving. It feels like a little bit like Van Persie going to Manchester United. It feels a little bit like when Jude Bellingham left Borussia Dortmund, how much he's going to be a mainstay in that Real Madrid side for so many years to come. Sometimes a transfer is just... It's not just someone that comes in and plays football for your football club, but he's actually a chess piece in a bigger game that stops the likes of, again, Man City, other clubs improving and creating a strategy for the future as well, because Man City have done a very good job of squad building in the last few years, Real Madrid as well, signing these young players, and now Liverpool have come in. And you feel that actually Liverpool got burned a little bit last season, I think it was, or last summer, when they tried to get Lavia, they tried to get Caicedo, they both made moves to London, Chelsea, a big football club in their own right, and you look back now and both would be Premier League title winners if they decided to move to Liverpool. So Liverpool have actually waded back into the water and made a big signing that is competitive with other football clubs. And that's why it's ominous, because they could keep doing it. Looks like they're going to sign Kirkes as well from Bournemouth, who, let's just be real, he was the best left back in the Premier League last season. I'm not going to have any other two ways about it. Maybe Ait Nuri, who's just moved to Manchester City as well, but Kirkes was the best left back in the Premier League last season. His other compatriots are joining PSG and Real Madrid respectively from the back line of Bournemouth. So it looks like Liverpool are going to be strengthening massively as well. Again, the Premier League is in dire need of new talent. You can't just be sat there as a rival fan hoping that one club dominates for the next 10 years. Look at Scottish football. I mean, Scottish football, whether you liked it or not as a Celtic fan, you needed Rangers to be in the SPL. You needed a Rangers-Celtic rivalry. The Premier League, despite whoever you follow, needs big names, big talent. And we used to have it. Arsenal used to have Henry, and there was Ronaldo at Man United, and Drogba at Chelsea. Liverpool had Gerrard and Xabi Alonso. And actually, probably about 10 clubs. Newcastle had Alan Shearer. And you look at the Premier League now and you think, actually, Salah is an icon. You put him on any billboard advertising the Premier League, of course. He might go in maybe 2 years' time. And he's already over the age of 30 as well. He's not a talent for the next generation. He'll be here right now. You're thinking Erling Haaland has to be on that kind of Mount Rushmore of the modern Premier League cycle, 2026, 2027, 2028. De Bruyne's just left, and De Bruyne is scarily a very similar transfer to Florian Wirtz in a number of ways, coming from German football. A question mark at the time from Phil Thompson, famously on Soccer Saturday on Sky Sports, about the price tag for £50 million, and Florian Wirtz for £100 million is probably an equivalent kind of amount with inflation in football. So if Florian Wirtz comes in, there'll be some question marks about the money, but actually What are Liverpool signing? Like, Liverpool aren't signing a defensive midfielder. We're talking about all these big icons in football being gone. Saka, Arsenal, by the way, of course, Saka, Arsenal's a big name. But then you're thinking 4 or 5 out of the top 10 in the Premier League are all defensive midfielders. Like Jack Grealish, for some people didn't work out. For me, he did. But then you're talking Declan Rice, big money. You're talking Caicedo. You're talking Enzo Fernandez. These guys have probably not scored 30 goals between them. So the big money in the Premier League is being spent on players that make the midfield better, make the whole side better. They're big players. Declan Rice makes Arsenal tick. Don't get me wrong. But he's not Steven Gerrard. He's not Cristiano Ronaldo. And Florian Wirtz, he's got the potential to be a superstar in the same way that Liverpool signed Luis Suarez at a similar age, Fernando Torres at a similar age, Xabi Alonso at a similar age, and turned them into absolute superstars. Maybe Philippe Coutinho is the closest that we can think about in terms of a positional kind of similarity to Florian Wirtz. His goal record is outstanding. I think a thing that no one really talks about for whatever reason, maybe because Bayern Munich reclaimed the Bundesliga last season, is the fact that he guided Bayer Leverkusen, not to a league title in a world where Bayern Munich dominate 12 years in a row, I think it was, and then they win the 13th, and Bayern Munich went back to being top dog usually in Germany like they usually are. But this is the first league title in the history of Bayer Leverkusen, ever. Michael Ballack and other greats of Bayer Leverkusen couldn't get them over the line. And Florian Wirtz got Bayer Leverkusen over the line with ingenuity, with a range of goals and assists. It's not just the numbers which are good, a goal or assist every basically 1 in 2, but a quality catalogue of long-range strikes, outrageous passes. It's kind of the pre-assist, the assist to the assist. And Florian Wirtz is going to come in, I think, is going to be a massive galvanising force. Again, going back to my original point, because I think it will excite the Premier League. It'll be a galvanising force for how excited we are in the Premier League. We're talking about lower viewing figures in the Premier League this season. I think Florian Wirtz will bring a massive amount of eyes to Premier League football. This is a country, the most successful European country in the history of World Cups. Germany, they're going to go for it in 2026. So we're talking about a long lineage of world-class talent. Musiala is alongside him right now, of course. But you're talking Schweinsteiger, you're talking Philipp Lahm, you're talking Michael Ballack. It goes on and on and on. And Florian Wirtz, the most recent one was probably Goetze. You're talking about a talent as good as that. As good as those kind of long list of names that I've given, he is alongside them at the moment. And he's at 22 years old. He could be an absolute superstar for Liverpool in the future. It's a very, very good deal. And then you think Kerkez is coming in. If Gahey comes in, I think we have to quit the league. I think we have to start again in 2026, 27. Because if Gahey comes in and shore things up with Konate and Van Dijk, we're talking about one of the best partnerships of centre-backs in European football. And then Florian Wirtz and Salah, it's absolutely outrageous. It's a very, very good deal. It is. It's a very good deal. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Would really appreciate it. Leave your comments down below about Florian Wirtz. No nasty nicknames, please. I'll see you very, very soon.